Oh boy, do we have a story for you.
But before we fill you in on why, we're back at the mechanic.
You may remember recently when we said, but finally we feel like we got to a point where we can travel with confidence.
We're probably gonna try to hit the big 5 here.
Well, things didn't go quite as planned.
5 of our solar panels are not working.
This has really been the year of everything just breaking on us.
A lot of people call Ouray the Switzerland of America.
And although we are trying our best to enjoy the journey,
we found ourselves up against a major mechanical problem.
well, look at this. It's sprayed everywhere.
Looks like a significant amount is lost, like a quarter. In our last Buslife vlog, you might remember we were leaving Zion.
We were heading to camp just outside of Bryce Canyon National Park. Just driving into the area and seeing these red rocks was otherworldly.
Driving through the 2 arches on the way into the area was so amazing.
Oh god. Oh, and another one. Maybe a little bit scary because it doesn't look very big, even though it said we would fit.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think our cats have ever ventured this far from home. Look at the pizzicato following us. And Mr. Sweetface here.
And while we were in Bryce, we did film another video. We'll include a link to that here, where we really go in and talk about one aspect of looking for a new place to buy land or call home at some point.
All while we hike the Navajo Loop.
Amazing.
Incredible. We actually spend quite a lot of time inside this national park, and we decided this is our favorite national park we've ever been to so far.
Yeah, it's just stunning. The landscape, 60 million years in the making.
The Hoodoos are just so unique.
We kept keeping an eye on the weather in the rest of Utah because we wanted to travel up and see the other parks. But it was getting way too hot, way too fast.
Yeah, everywhere else was having heat waves and is not fun in a metal box. Where we were camped, the weather was like perfect. Slightly cool mornings and then at 70 degrees at most during the day.
We even had a crazy little snow flurry storm while we were there.
Yeah.
Originally camping in Tom's Best Springs, and you can stay there 14 days, or 16 days actually.
Yes.
But then you need to move over 10 miles. We found Dave's Hollow.
It's in the National Forest, which is huge, so it's easy to stay there and just move spots 10 miles. And our new spot was even better than the first one.
We had these gorgeous views. We were only like half a mile from the entrance to the Bryce Canyon National Park.
Which was so great. Often we get 1 or 2 days that we get to go to the park and we have to pick and choose what we can do. But here we got so many amazing experiences. We even got to go to the park at night during the full moon.
This area has some of the lowest light pollution in all of the US 48 states. So it was just stunning to be out there. And because we were so close, we'd do a day of work and maybe run out in the afternoon and do a hike. We did so many hikes in the area and saw so much of the stunning landscape.
Summer was shaping up to be great, even if we were stuck in one place because of the weather. But then suddenly the string of problems for summer started.
The first problem we had was one of our solar array panels quit working. We weren't getting any charge from the front array, and that's the first 5 solar panels we have on the front of the bus. We did some troubleshooting to try to determine where we were getting power. The panels seemed fine, but we just weren't getting power down to the on-off switch.
What's the problem?
This wire is broken somewhere. And this was the first wire we ran for the solar panels for the front, and it's a solid copper wire, which means that if it snaps inside, there's no connection. All the other wiring we did for everything else is stranded wire, so there's like 100 little wires wound together. So if one breaks, it's not a big deal. So I'm pretty sure that's what happens, because if I hook up my voltage meter, sometimes it comes through a little bit and then it goes away. I knew this wire might go bad eventually. Didn't know when.
2 years?
Yep, 2 years. 2 years, that's how long you can use a solid wire. Use stranded from the beginning, folks.
Any luck?
Hold on. Yep,
It's working?
it's working.
Yay!
Bringing on 630 watts.
Oh, good. Well, I want to say that was an easy fix, except it did take a little while to fix, but at least it is fixed.
And while Mel is busy working on videos, we ran into one problem with a very creative solution.
Done. Which one's the cable to charge the keyboard?
Say goodbye to cable clutter. With the xCool 4-in-1 charging cable, you get one cable with 4 different ports.
One end has a lightning port and a USB-C, while the other end lets you connect to USB-A or USB-C. xCool 4-in-1 charging cable lets us connect our phones to our laptops, laptops to accessories.
We can charge our batteries, our iPads, connect our hard drives, and we can charge straight from our power banks.
The xCool 4-in-1 charging cable is available in both gray and green. Made of zinc alloy and braided nylon, designed for durability and promises 100,000 bend lifespan.
That's a lot of bends. Plus the xCool 4-in-1 cable is 6 feet long, so you're not confined to staying close to your power source, allowing for more flexibility.
This makes so much sense for tiny living rather than having a whole drawer full of cables. But no matter what size your house, we all could do with decluttering and having less stuff. We'll include a link first thing below in the description if you're ready to upgrade to the xCool 4-in-1 charging cable. What is up, bud? Yeah? You happy boy? Yeah? So far away. Oh, he gave up, Pizzicato. You won. You won, sweetie. Pizzicato, thank you for all your help. So helpful being out here. Thank you. But the time that we were allowed to camp there was running out, and the chipmunks were moving in. Pizzicato alerted us to the fact that chipmunks were moving into the Jeep, so it was time for us to go. Wait, oh, there he is. What is he doing in there? Pizzicato, are you gonna get him for us? She's so dirty. Can you get him?
We're really hoping that we get a window of cooler weather, and I mean, we were even hoping for like 90 degrees, but at this point, it was already too hot.
We've got record heat expected today.
We saw record high temperatures today.
Monday was the hottest day ever recorded on Earth.
Fatal heat waves.
June 2024 was officially the hottest on record.
The 105 though in St. George, we're really getting into that extremely hot range.
We were hoping to at least get in Moab and Arches National Park. It just didn't happen. But we did have to drive north up to the 70 to kind of drive through that area to get to Colorado. And wow, it was looking real unique and beautiful. We'll definitely have to go back and time it better to get there earlier in spring perhaps, or in fall, so we don't hit those hot temps.
We headed straight into Colorado towards Ridgway. We have some really close friends that live in Ridgway. We've been there before, and it is a stunning area. A lot of people call Ouray, which is the town next to Ridgway, the Switzerland of America, and for good reason.
Yeah, you can see why. We had to start scouting for some free camping options in the area because we wanted to stay for a while. Whew. It took a lot of scouting. I don't think we've ever scouted this much. The number one. This spot with this guy. And the mountains over there. This is option number 2. How many days do you think we went out?
Probably 3 full days, I think.
3 full days of scouting.
Just to try to find a free spot that we would fit in comfortably. BLM, Forest Service Road. Okay, I think this is BLM. It's a pretty big spot. It's off the side of this road. Second spot, still on a slant. All other activities are welcome. Hunting, fishing, hiking, river rafting, and camping. So spot number 2, not quite as big as spot number 1. Spot 4, it's BLM. It's right by the river here.
There's so much national forest and BLM land in that area, but a lot of it isn't accessible. There aren't roads in, it's just all trees, there's nowhere to camp. And it was also raining a lot. I guess it's their monsoon season, and it rained and rained and rained and rained, and the dirt just became this clayey mud that, like, we almost got stuck in the Jeep that has a special all-wheel drive mud setting.
Yeah, the mud was seriously almost a foot high in some of the roads we were on, and at one point I just stopped and backed up 100 yards through the mud because I knew we just couldn't go any further in the Jeep, let alone there was no reason to scout it for the bus.
Yeah.
But while we were out scouting, we took advantage and got to do some touristy things. We ended up randomly showing up at Black Canyon of the Gunnison.
Yeah, what a unique place. I think Don's face says it all.
It is a stunning area. I would love to go back and maybe even camp and spend time there. We also went to Ouray's Box Canyon again. We've been there about 8 years ago, but it's just such a neat place.
You get to close up see the water, just like coming through the rocks, and understand just how that water could be sculpting the rocks into these beautiful shapes.
So after those 3 days of scouting to try to find a place, we finally found a place over near Telluride, Caddis Flats, BLM. And we were so excited to be able to have a place to go and just not worry about anything.
It was so beautiful. And we just kind of got a lot of work done here and enjoyed camping life. But the other unfortunate thing about camping in this area is they have a 7-day limit pretty much anywhere you can camp in that area.
Yeah, and as anybody who lives in a vehicle full-time knows, you really want to shoot for those 14-day places. Otherwise, it just gets tiring. Because you may think 7 days, yeah, if you're on vacation, it's great. But 7 days means...
we're working for 5 of those days, maybe 6 of those days.
And probably one of those days you're going to be traveling there. One of those days you're going to be leaving. That means you also need to be scouting to figure out your next spot. We were really anxious about trying to find a spot.
But we lucked out. It wasn't a free camping spot. It was dispersed camping in national forest and we had to pay, but it was a killer spot.
We ended up finding the Mare E campground, which is right down the mountain from Telluride. Great spot, really friendly camp host, and we fit, and it was 20 bucks a night. So we had to spend some money.
There was so much space for the cats to walk around and the river flowing right past us.
Living in a metal box, the temperature is so important, and the weather was great. The only problem of camping in this area is we couldn't find any dump station. There was supposed to be one at the Telluride sanitation department, but it was closed every single day we drove by.
We were trying very carefully to ration our water uses so that we didn't fill up our gray tank too much. But they had some porta potties in the national forest, and we saw this guy coming to vacuum pump out the porta potties, and we said, hey, can you do us too?
And it's the first time we've had a remote dump.
Yeah, I've always been curious like how much that cost, haven't come out, but he charged us 20 bucks, but he was coming there already, so it wasn't like he was driving there just for us, so I'm sure it's normally more expensive. Now that I know, like if you see one, you may as well take advantage of them while they're there, because it was easy and fast.
Yep, easy, fast, and we could continue staying in our camping spot. Since we were so close to Telluride and Telluride Mountain Village, it was an easy drive to either of those. And we got to take the free gondola. Oh, it's amazing.
So cool. So you start in Mountain Village, and then you actually go up in the gondola to the ski slopes, which is at 10,540 feet elevation.
The views are amazing. If I lived there, I would just take it all the time just to be going up and over the mountain and then down the mountain into Telluride.
Telluride is a charming little town with lots of restaurants and breweries and opportunities for all kinds of adventures. There is water everywhere too.
You can tell this is the water that's coming right off of those snow caps in the mountain, and everywhere it's running, it's so clear. You can see the bottom of the creeks, the lakes, the streams, everywhere.
Everything.
There's a real nice little walk along the river there in Telluride, and we just fell in love with that area. I think we both said at one point that wouldn't it be fun to live in Telluride for a year or something?
Not in the bus. The bus can't go into Telluride.
It's way too big.
But yeah, it would be fun. We even left a Habitate sticker there somewhere. So if you're in Telluride, see if you can find it. So fun. Oh, look at the guy, you know. God damn, it's gonna be exhausting, right?
You know, these people got the right idea. They're walking down.
Oh, my ears are popping. Oh. The most amazing view from a parking lot.
As much as we love Telluride, it is so busy. It's such a tourist destination in the summer.
Which brings us to our next big problem, that
Our front air conditioner completely stopped working. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and unhook our mini split mount, swing it out here, and hopefully I can figure out how to go ahead and shut off the coolant that's already still in the unit. So my guess is somewhere in that 35 or 40 feet of copper lines, I probably bent it, or it got twisted, or just because we're in a bus, which is like being in a roller coaster all the time, one of those seals is cracked or the piping is cracked.
Since the lines probably have a leak in them anyway, I'm going to go ahead and just use my pipe cutter instead of trying to salvage the whole line out. I'll just stack it up and hopefully I can get some money out of it at the recycling. We'll see.
It wasn't as easy as I thought to pull it through, just because there's so many twists and turns, and that's probably where my problem is in the first place. So, good riddance. I'm gonna go ahead and try to get the top part out with a little incident. Now there's some new tubing that just came on the market, which is braided flex tubing. It's 16 feet long, and I thought this is incredible. It's gonna set us back a little bit because I think it's like $200 for each package, but if I got 2 sets of them, we could run new flexible lines all the way from the outside condenser unit on the driver's side all the way up to the front air conditioner.
Well, this is very disappointing. I think these new lines are actually leaking because I can hear a psst coming out right where they're supposed to be joined together from the braid to the copper. So I bought 3 of these sets because I wanted to do the other mini split too. So I'm going to pull the one that seems to be leaking and replace it. And hopefully this one doesn't leak. I think they'd have higher quality control for this stuff. It's so expensive. I got that piece in there pretty easily. And now I'm going to go ahead and hook it up and...
So that job is now half done. We still need to get an AC guy to come out and fill it with refrigerant again, but it is at least ready to go. But this was just the beginning of our worst week of bus life. This is one of those spots that I don't want to leave. It's just so beautiful here, and I'm excited about our next adventure and where we're heading, but gonna miss this spot. We just arrived in Ridgway, which is our stop for a couple days so that we can get supplies before we head to Leadville. And when we got here and we were unhooking the Jeep, I was like, wow, everything looks pretty greasy back here. I mean, it gets pretty gross and dirty, but it had an extra bit of grease to it, and I thought it was weird. And it took about 5 minutes of getting level and everything after that. And then I went back there again and there's a huge puddle of oil. Not ready for the next bus problem. But ready or not, here it is.
There's oil everywhere. There's a drip place. Could be coming out of that because it looks like it lines up. But then the oil filters also could be leaking too. So this morning, it was just past the F. Supposed to be able to check it when it's warm. Looks like a significant amount is lost, like a quarter.
But it's still got lots in there.
Yeah, it's not empty.
Well, look at this. Like,
I know, I see it.
it's sprayed everywhere. It's just like, it's so much oil. I can't understand.
I texted my good friend Joe, mechanic, helped us out a lot. He said, check and see if it came out of the overflow. Now, there is a tube for when the oil pressure gets too high, it blows it out. We've seen a little bit of oil the past 2 months, but it's an old engine. There's going to be a little bit of oil once in a while. This is a significant amount of oil, and it just looks like when we moved, it leaked in that same overflow area. I see a little bit of oil, tiny bit of oil leaking out of the oil filters, and those things are kind of notorious to go on you, so maybe that's something we'll try to get done here before we go on our next trip. But having less oil in the engine is a concern there. Troubleshooting a major oil leak that was going to be very painful.
We have made it to the mechanics.
And expensive to fix.
It changed our plans for the week, but that wasn't the worst thing we encountered. Well, this year officially sucks.